The CEO's wife doesn't know. We're already divorced. At a business party, she watched me hold hands with a pure-looking girl. She smiled faintly and said, "You're quite busy." I looked at the red-eyed man in her arms and said, "Same to you." That night, she cornered me. Her eyes, rarely red, questioned me. Why didn't I answer? I just found it funny. It's obvious that Sunyan can't forget her white moonlight. The whole world knows. Sunyan married me. It was because her white moonlight ran away on their wedding day. So I put on an ill-fitting suit and married a woman who couldn't even remember my name. Friends and family all said I was pitiful. I was just a substitute for her white moonlight. Even when my wife, in the middle of our wedding night, was called away by her white moonlight, I didn't argue or say a word. She often flew abroad to visit her white moonlight. I also remained silent until the night Suni and Anne's white moonlight got divorced. I accidentally overheard him asking her with red eyes, "I am back now. Do you still want to marry me?" Suni Anne was silent for a moment. Then she answered firmly, "I do." At that moment, I knew I should return the position of Suni Anne's husband. The next day, I gave her the divorce agreement. She didn't even look at it. While talking to her white moonlight, she signed her name. She didn't hear what I said either. Then she rushed away. I looked at the woman's retreating back. A trace of self-mockery flashed through my heart. I really wanted to see what she would look like when she found out the truth. There's still over half a month until we receive the divorce papers. I used this time to pack my things and to say goodbye to my friends. But Sunyan unexpectedly came to pick me up and take me home. On the way back, she finally seemed to remember something and spoke up, "Chen Zhou, what was that document you had me sign half a month ago? Only now do you remember to ask?" During this time, she was always around Song Jin Nian. How could she possibly care about such trivial matters? I smirked. I was about to open my mouth, but Suni and Anne's phone rang again. "Nian Anne, I am drunk. My head hurts so much. Can you come pick me up?" Hearing the slightly aggrieved tone on the other end of the line, Suni and Anne's long, slender hands on the steering wheel turned a little pale. Her expression also darkened. "Song Jin Nian, I've told you many times. I am already married." The other end was silent for a moment, then spoke. "So what if you're married? I was supposed to be the groom at that wedding." This dismissive tone angered Suni and Anne. In 3 years of marriage, I had only seen her cold, self-possessed side. This was the first time I saw Sunyan lose control. Sunyan suddenly slammed on the brakes. The tires screeched against the road, making a loud noise. "So, did you show up?" The other end of the line suddenly went silent. A moment later, the voice over there became choked with emotion. "Sorry, I won't bother you anymore." Very quickly, the other end hung up, but Suni and Anne's expression didn't improve. After a long while, she finally gave in completely. As if resigned to her fate, she typed a few words and sent them. "Send me the address." After seeing the address that was sent, she turned back with a guilty expression. "I know what you're going to say." I spoke up first. "If you have something to do, just go. I'll take a taxi home." Seeing me open the car door and my umbrella, Sunyan finally felt something was wrong. She said softly, "Wait for me to finish. I'll come right back to you." I nodded. Standing in the rain, I watched her drive away. My eyes were filled with complex emotions. This is the 7th year I've loved Sunyan Anne. I still remember the first time in the dance studio, the sight of me falling in love with her at first sight. Sunyan Anne was wearing a dance practice dress. Her body was graceful. She alone became the provincial dance competition champion, becoming a symbolic figure who captivated the entire hall. In the pouring rain, I sent Sunyan a message. "The document you asked about. It's in the glove compartment. If you want to know what it is, just open it and see." It wasn't until half an hour later, when I was already home, that Sunyan finally replied with one sentence. "No need. Since you told me to sign it, it's obviously not going to harm me." So she doesn't want to look. That's right. She's in a hurry to pick up a drunk Song Jin Nian. How could she have time to look, even if it's right where she can reach it? The rain fell all day. It didn't stop until the evening of the next day. I stayed home all day, silently deleting all the moments from after we got married from all social media platforms. After cleaning up my friends list, I exited and immediately saw Song Jin Nian's newly posted 9-photo collage. They were photos of him relaxing on a yacht. Every angle was excellent, revealing a woman's soft, slender hand. I knew it was Sunyan Anne. I also knew Song Jin Nian did it on purpose, but now I no longer care about these petty things. I turned off my phone, got up and went to the kitchen to prepare a salad for myself. Just as dinner was ready, Sunyan suddenly came back. Looking at the cake in Sunyan Anne's hand, I was stunned for a moment. "You don't like sweets. Why did you suddenly buy a cake?" Sunyan Anne walked over. Seeing my dinner, she frowned slightly. "Today is your birthday. Did you forget? Why are you eating something so simple?" I froze. When I was 4 or 5 years old, my parents divorced and sent me to live with my grandmother. When I was 15 or 16, my grandmother passed away. I had no one left to take care of me, so I stopped celebrating my birthday. But ever since marrying Sunyan Anne, for these 3 years, she remembered every year. No matter how busy she was, she would come home to celebrate with me. When I came back from a long trip, she worried about my safety and would even make a special trip to the airport to pick me up. During rainy and stormy days, she knew I was scared and would gently comfort me. I thought these casual concerns and favors were love, until our 1-month wedding anniversary. Sunian and used work at the company as an excuse to cancel the romantic dinner that had been booked. Disappointed, I was called by Jiang Mo to bring him a jacket at a bar, but I accidentally ran into Song Jin Nian. He was dead drunk, hugging the person who was supposed to be working overtime at the office and refusing to let go. Sunian An's face darkened. She angrily tried to pull away. Song Jin Yin, stop being sick. Let go. What do you take me for? A toy you can just throw away when you want and pick up again when you feel like it? Song Jin Yin didn't listen to her at all. He stubbornly used his pushed-away hands to hug her waist again, over and over, tirelessly. Finally, Sunian An gave in. I stood there. Song Jin Yan, what on earth do you want from me? At that moment, the bag in my hand fell. Many images flashed through my mind, through the crowded masses, tightly held hands, the tilted umbrella on a rainy day. Every moment was proof of Sunian An's love for Song Jinyan. I had witnessed those moments with my own eyes, so I couldn't deny this truth. Even though we've been married for 3 years, even though I became her husband, even though I once received a bit of her favor, none of it could deny the fact. To be more precise, the little bits of kindness Sunian An showed me were just things I stole from Song Jin Yan. When he temporarily left, I seized this bit of sweetness, like a child who thought he had gotten everything. But in reality, I never had her, not even for a single minute or second. So, looking at the number 24 on the cake, my heart felt no ripples. I just nodded politely and said, thank you. Sunian An lit the candles. She smiled faintly and said, Chen Zhou, we are husband and wife. Don't say thank you, it sounds too formal. Go on, make a wish. I nodded. Just as I was about to stand up, Sunian An's phone rang. Seeing her slightly trembling eyes, I guessed who was calling. I sat back down, and the truth was just as I predicted. A minute later, the phone was turned off, and Sunian An also left. Hearing the sound of the car gradually fading away outside the window, I curled my lips into a bitter smile. The room was unlit. The candle flame danced, casting my lonely shadow on the wall. I clasped my hands together and made a wish for my 24th birthday. In the new year of my life, I will no longer love Sunian An. Goodbye. She arrived 3 days later at the class of 21 reunion. Sunian An was surrounded by everyone in the center. She saw me and immediately came over to sit next to me. Seeing the two of them sitting together, the atmosphere in the room became a little strange. I knew this was because of me, because in the eyes of these college friends, me marrying Sunian An was just so I could struggle a few years less. So everyone looked down on me, but I didn't care about these malicious assumptions. I sat quietly, expressionless. The class president arrived late, carrying a large paper box. He greeted everyone. I invited everyone to gather today. 1, to catch up, and 2, the write a letter to yourself from 5 years ago activity. It just so happens that the time is up. Today is the perfect time. Let's take a look together. Immediately, everyone rushed forward. The noise was incessant. So, let's play this fun game. Each person randomly draws a letter and reads it out loud, okay? And that sounds good. Then let me draw one first. The most lively guy in class squeezed into the middle of the crowd and was the first to draw a letter. Those around him, not knowing what was happening, urged him on. Hurry up and open it. He cleared his throat and opened the paper. To the me of next year. How are you? Right now, I am sitting in the sunlight writing you this letter. Although I don't know when you read these lines, what circumstances you'll be in, or what mood you'll be in, I want to convey my current feelings to you. After hearing the first paragraph, the entire room went silent. All eyes turned towards me. Sunian An, who was playing on her phone, also looked up. She looked at the person next to her in surprise. My usually expressionless face, thinking of the letter's contents, my heart suddenly tightened. The guy glanced at me, smirked mischievously, and continued reading. This year, I am 19 years old. I've just started my sophomore year of college. I like Sunian An, but she doesn't know about it. But actually, even if she did know, it wouldn't make a difference, because Sunian An already has someone she likes. My secret feelings will surely come to nothing. Perhaps you will ask me if I am sure it won't work out. Why don't I just give up? What I want to tell you is, I like the charm of the young girl, uninhibited. Amidst the cheers of thousands, it's her casual concern in the evening breeze as she helped me pick up my books. It's her polite and sincere attitude when she rejects others' confessions. Every week during the morning meeting, I turn my head to secretly look at Sunian An. The one who gets a sore neck is me. Hearing she got injured from dancing, the one who secretly put medicine in her drawer in the midst of a storm was me. The one who filled a diary page with her name was me. Maybe in this lifetime, she will never remember who I am, but that's okay, because unrequited love is always a one-person battle. After this letter was read, the room was dead silent. Sunian An froze even more. Suddenly, she remembered the wedding that year that left her unable to hold her head high. She remembered. Amidst the crowd with their strange gazes, the determined figure who stood up and walked to her side. Until this moment, Sunian An finally understood why I married her. It wasn't, as others said, to leech off her family's wealth, but simply because I had secretly loved her for many years. In that instant, Sunian An's heart, which had been silent for so long, inexplicably began to beat faster. Suddenly, Sunian An really wanted to ask clearly about all the questions suppressed in her heart. But before she could speak, Song Jinyan's call came through. Nian, I am downstairs at the club, blocked by some creditors. He hadn't even finished speaking before Sunian An's expression changed. She jumped up and ran downstairs. A group of people followed her, hurriedly protecting Song Jinyan from behind. I quickly ran down, only to see such a scene. I stood frozen, and instinctively looked towards Sunian An, but I only saw her back as she protected Song Jinyan and left. This was a level of concern I had never received. I lowered my eyes, hiding the emotions within them. I let out a soft, self-mocking laugh, then silently turned and went home. It wasn't until dawn that Sunian An returned. Seeing me sitting silently on the sofa, she remembered she needed to explain a few things. Chenju, everyone today were classmates. I couldn't just ignore Song Jinyan's situation. I didn't want to expose her. I just gave a soft mim and took my pajamas to the bathroom. Half an hour later, I came out, drying my hair, and saw Sunian An holding my phone. Her expression was a little strange. Chenju, why did you buy a plane ticket? I was a little surprised, but quickly reacted. Taking the phone, I didn't buy one. It must be a promotional message from the airline about discounted tickets. Sunian An wanted to ask more, but seeing that I didn't seem to want to talk much, she suppressed her intention to ask further. After all, I had never lied to her, right? Yes. She put the phone down, nodded, and was about to go wash her face. After I dried my hair, Sunian An also came out of the shower. Sunian An proactively wrapped her arms around my waist and stood on her tiptoes, wanting to kiss me, but I turned my head, avoiding that passionate kiss. I said coolly that I wasn't feeling well today and wanted to rest early. Sunian An didn't press me further and turned off the lights. The next day, the weather was nice. We drove together to the hot springs. The warm water relaxed my tired nerves. I leaned against the edge, watching the white steam continuously rise, and gradually felt a little sleepy. I didn't expect to fall asleep. Perhaps used to the noise, I didn't hear the knocking outside. Sunian An called. I didn't respond several times. She got a little worried and pushed the door open. Seeing me in a daze, her heart suddenly pounded. She quickly jumped into the hot spring and helped me up. I groggily opened my eyes. The steam was thick. Our skin touched. Her first reaction was to put me down and open the window for ventilation. I stood up and went to the changing room. When I came out after changing, I had no strength left in my body. I sat down beside her. Sunian An was in a daze. She didn't notice me and turned to leave. I was a little stunned. Until this moment, I finally understood how ridiculous the thought I had when I stood up on the wedding day was. There's no such thing as a latecomer winning or warming a cold heart. Love is love. Not loving is not loving. From the very beginning, I made the wrong bet. So, now, facing this complete loss, I accept it. I don't know how much time passed. I was left alone at the end. Looking at the dazzling lights overhead, I laughed silently. I received a call from the staff, saying my visa was ready. I collected all my documents and started packing my luggage. Every day, I tore a page off the calendar on my desk. It quickly reached the end. This year is about to end, and I am also about to leave this city where I've lived for over 20 years. During this week, Sunian An never came home. On the contrary, it was Song Jinyan, who sent many provocative messages every day. On the 7th day before I left, he sent a video. Sunian An was sitting on the sofa, massaging his shoulders. Her movements were incredibly gentle. I watched, while throwing all the things I had bought for her over the years into the trash. On the 5th day before I left, he sent a few photos. Sunian An was gifting him several expensive watches. Personally putting a watch on his wrist, I casually smashed our wedding photo, then threw it into the fire. On the 3rd day before I left, it was an audio recording. Sunian An was sleeping, still mumbling his name. The tone was sincere and deep. I took all the gifts she had given me after we married and packed them up to send to charity. In the villa I once considered home, gradually became empty. As for me, my meager luggage was slowly packed. The housemaid, seeing this scene of letting go, was a little worried. She came to ask me a few times what had happened. I smiled. My voice was very relaxed. It's just a divorce. Has the mistress agreed? I don't know, but I think if Sunian An saw that divorce agreement now, she would probably be very happy, because in her heart and eyes now, there is only Song Jin Nian. On the 2nd to last day, Song Jin Nian sent another message. This time the camera wasn't on Sunian An, but on her parents. Looking at the three of them gathered around the dining table, laughing and talking happily, my heart felt no ripples. I still didn't reply to the message. Instead, I clicked on my contacts and deleted Song Jin Nian and Sunian An, along with everyone related to them. The day of departure, the first snow of the season fell. I took out the diaries I had organized last night and the unsent love letters and brought them all to the yard. The orange-yellow flame illuminated my face. It also burned away the heartfelt emotions of my youth into ashes. I looked up, watching the snowflakes flutter down, calculating how long it would take for the snow to cover these ashes. While lost in thought, the tightly shut gate suddenly opened. Sunian An, whom I hadn't seen in a long time, had returned. Her footsteps were hurried. She glanced at the person standing in the snow. First, she went into the living room for a moment. When she came out, she stopped beside me. Looking at the pale pink envelopes, she subconsciously recalled the letter from the reunion. Her heart which had been resentful for a long time, finally began to soften. I've been a bit busy lately. Wait a few days until I am free. Let's talk then. Talk? About the divorce? I smiled. I looked up at her. My voice was extremely calm. There's no need to talk. The thing you want most? I actually gave it to you a month ago. What? What is it? Sunyan was about to ask. Her phone buzzed a few times. Sunyan opened it to read the messages. The corners of her eyes and brows crinkled with a smile. Seeing her expression, I threw the last of the love letters into the fire and stood up. My tall figure blocked the fire behind me. After Sunyan finished replying to the message, the love letters had just finished burning. She also forgot what she had wanted to ask. I personally walked her to the door. I opened the car door for Sunyan. A cold wind blew over. Sunyan saw that I was lightly dressed and said gently, "You should go inside. Don't catch a cold." But I insisted on staying at the door to see her off. Through the car window, Sunyan saw me. I raised my hand and waved, and softly said something. She couldn't hear it clearly, but it was probably just be careful on the road, or that kind of reminder. For the past 3 years, she had heard it countless times, so she didn't pay it any mind. After the car started, it quickly disappeared from sight. I stood alone in the snow for a long time. Before returning to the bedroom, I put on a coat, carried my suitcase downstairs. The snow was falling heavier and heavier. Flakes landed on my head. From a distance, it looked like my hair had turned white. A taxi was parked in front of the villa gate. Before getting in, I turned for one last look. I repeated the soft, inaudible sentence one more time. Farewell. Farewell, Beijing. Sunyan drove straight to Song Jinyan's house. Last night, he had demanded to see her childhood photos, so she had made a special trip home to get them. Carrying the heavy bag to the elevator door, she passed by an unfamiliar woman. From this woman, Sunyan caught a faint, familiar scent of perfume. It was the perfume Song Jinyan liked the most. This person had just come from his apartment. Is it some friend? A bit of suspicion arose in Sunyan's heart, but the elevator quickly arrived, and she didn't think much more of it. She pressed the button for the 7th floor. As soon as he saw Sunyan, Song Jinyan's face lit up. The two of them flipped through the album, while reminiscing about the past. Talking about their childhood, Sunyan quickly forgot about everything else. At noon, the Song family arrived at Song Jinyan's house. Nian, my husband and I have been busy with work all these years. If it weren't for you looking after Jinyan, I don't know how crazy he would have become. We have to thank you. Song Jinyan walked over to Sunyan's side, intending to take her hand, but was immediately pulled back by Mother Song. You're both grown-ups now. You also have your own family. Jinyan is still immature. He's always clinging to you. I don't mind him. We will teach him a good lesson, so he won't bother you anymore in the future. The atmosphere in the living room suddenly froze. Sunyan understood the underlying meaning. Her breathing became chaotic for a moment, then quickly returned to normal. The smile on her lips also faded, leaving only restraint and politeness. Song Jinyan's expression changed as well, but he acted as if he didn't understand what his mother was saying. He grinned foolishly at Sunyan, trying to change the subject. Come on, Nian and I grew up together. What's this talk about bothering or not bothering? She even promised to take me home, right? Sunyan looked up. She was about to answer, when she met the meaningful gazes of the two elders. The words on the tip of her tongue changed to something else. Yes, I did promise, but my secretary just informed me that something came up at the company. Since uncle and auntie are here, I won't intrude any longer. After saying that, she didn't linger. She turned and left the living room. She hadn't taken more than a few steps when Mother Song called Sunyan back. She handed the album to her. Nian, it was Jinyan's fault in the past, but he was young then. He didn't understand the value of true feelings. Don't take it to heart. Looking at the elder who had watched her grow up, her face full of apology, Sunyan gently shook her head. Auntie, I've already let go of the past. I won't resent Jinyan. Please don't worry. Mother Song sighed and looked at her with eyes full of regret. It's Jinyan who isn't fortunate enough. It's also that you two are not fated to be husband and wife. I heard from your mother that the man you marry later is very filial. He's also very sensible, and his feelings for you are very good. You must cherish him. He is the one worth your effort. He will be the one to grow old with you. Sunyan and new Mother Song meant well. Sunyan also understood that her story with Song Jinyan had ended long ago at that wedding, when she married someone else in a fit of pique. For the past 3 years, Sunyan had also tried to forget the past and live a good life with me. But how could she? Just let go of someone she had loved for 18 years? So, when Song Jinyan returned and clung to her, she ultimately softened. Even if they couldn't be lovers, their friendship was still there, after all. With this thought, she let herself go to his side time and time again. To be honest, every time Song Jinyan tearfully said he still loved her, her heart was moved. But those moments were like ripples on a lake when the wind blows. They quickly left no trace. Sunyan always remembered when she was about to be submerged that I was her husband. Time and time again, Sunyan seemed to be lost in a maze, unable to find a way out, until she heard these words. It was as if she was enlightened. She gradually came to her senses. Remembering the figure in the heavy snow seeing her off this morning, a warm feeling rose in Sunyan's heart. She bowed deeply to Mother Song. Her voice was extremely sincere. Thank you, Auntie, for specially telling me these things. I understand now. After leaving his house, Sunian and dropped by her parents' house. Mother Su called her into a room. Her voice was rarely so serious. When you first got married, I felt Chenju's family background wasn't good enough for you, so I had my reservations about him. But over the past 3 years, seeing how he cares for you, manages the household so neatly, and also takes good care of us, I have also gradually let go of my concerns. You're not a child anymore. There are some things I don't want to repeat. Let the past be the past. Don't hold on to it anymore. You have a good eye. You chose a good husband, so you should settle down and live your life. Marriage is not like dating. It's a pot of porridge simmering on low heat. It requires long-term perseverance. You and Chen Zhou didn't have a romantic foundation before marriage, and you're too young. Many things need to be said clearly and in a timely manner to avoid letting things build up into misunderstandings in your heart. How do you understand? Sunian and didn't expect that her usually quiet mother would give her such heartfelt advice, telling her about these trivial family matters, but she knew her mother was right. She lowered her head respectfully. You're right, Mom. I know what to do now. Mother Su nodded with great satisfaction. Then she took out a box and pushed it towards her. This is the jade pendant your grandmother gave me when I got married. Give it to Chen Zhou. In 2 days, it's your father's birthday. Remember to bring him home. The whole family will have a simple meal together. Sunian An opened the box. She looked at the ice-type jade inside and was stunned for a moment. Suddenly, Sunian An recalled the event from 3 years ago. The wedding had caused quite a storm. Song Jin Nian, over the phone, announced to everyone that the wedding was cancelled. Relatives from both sides turned pale and left immediately. She stood alone in the middle of the stage, desperately holding the microphone, releasing all the pent-up emotions in her heart. What exactly she said? She didn't really know herself until I stood up, pushed backstage by her eager friends and then back into her view. Only then did Sunian and come back to her senses. The wedding music played. I, in a slightly oversized suit, walked steadily towards her, one step at a time. With her, I endured the thousands of curious, scrutinizing gazes from below without fear or retreat. Perhaps moved by my determination, Sunian An's deadened heart once again found a bit of resolute courage. Although Sunian An still didn't know the new groom's name, she was determined to spend the rest of her life treating the person who put the ring on her well, not to betray the hand I had extended to her in the darkest moment of her life. Sunian An placed the jade pendant box into the glove compartment. Before closing it, she saw that file folder. She tried hard to think when it was placed there, but she couldn't come up with any clues. Sunian An was about to take it out to look at it when she received a call from Song Jin Nian. Nay, my parents have left. My friends want to get together. Are you done with your work? Do you want to come hang out? This time, Sunian An didn't hesitate. She refused him outright. Song Jin Nian's tone immediately became dejected. He hesitated, about to speak, but Sunian An used the excuse of a meeting to hang up the phone. She closed the glove compartment and drove home. The usually lively villa was especially quiet today. Sunian An looked around and noticed that many things were missing from the living room. The hair clip she had left on the coffee table months ago, the water glass on the dining table, the throw pillows on the sofa. They were all small, insignificant things that I had bought. She hadn't paid attention to them before, but for some reason, this time she keenly noticed something was wrong. She called the butler over and asked why so many things were missing from the house. The young master threw them all away. The old butler replied respectfully. He looked up at Sunian An's face and hesitated. Let's go have a drink. Really wants a div. Anne, it's snowing like this. I knew you'd be at home. It's been so long since I've seen my friends. Let's go have a drink. Her good friends came in through the door, hand in hand. They pulled Sunian An out without a word. The word divorce was not yet spoken, before it was drowned out by the noise. Although they said they were going drinking, her friends, thinking of Sunian An's health, only dared to give her a few glasses of plain water. She watched them, playing a drinking game. She took out her phone to find me, and composed a message. Today. Did you have to go out for something? Where did you go, and what time will you be back? Send me the address. I'll pick you up later. The roads are slippery because of the snow. Be careful on the road. Don't fall. Before she could press the send button, her friend who had just gotten off the phone's expression changed. She pulled Sunian An up, called the others at the table, her voice extremely urgent. Let's go. Change of venue. There's something hot happening. Seeing everyone, all confused by her nonsensical words, but hearing there was something interesting, everyone got excited. They all piled into the car. On the way, everyone asked where they were going. She didn't say a word. Occasionally, she would glance at Sunian An. The destination was a bar they had never been to before. Before getting out of the car, this friend pushed Sunian An to the front and then said some strange words. Anne, there's something I've heard rumors about for a long time. It's only now that it's become undeniable that I've thought about telling you. Whatever you see in a moment, don't blame me. I'm really doing this for your own good. The whole group were close friends who grew up together. Hearing her speak in such a serious tone, the smile on Sunian An's face gradually faded. Sunian An looked at the door within reach and hesitantly raised her hand. As soon as the door was pushed open, the scene inside the bar was fully revealed. Before everyone's eyes were dazzling colored lights. The hall was filled with debauchery. Everyone was immersed in the deafening DJ music. A white spotlight shone down, clearly illuminating a couple passionately kissing in the center of the stage. Despite the distance, Sunian and still recognized Song Jin-nian immediately. He was holding a beautiful, hot, and bold girl. The girl's face was unnaturally flushed. His hands roamed restlessly over the girl's back. He looked, compared to the usual arrogant and whimsical air of a rich young master, like a completely different person. In an instant, the 7 or 8 people at the door fell silent. In contrast to this silence were the increasingly excited cheers in the hall. Damn. Going so big. In just a moment. They've been kissing for half an hour. Aren't they afraid of suffocating? They're in love. Their feelings are strong. What's the big deal about a kiss? Are you jealous? I don't say that. Jin-nian's been dating this girlfriend for half a year. Right? Still not tired of her? How long do you guys think they'll date this time? Will it last longer than Sunian An? Don't try to guess Jin-nian's mind. He's just playing around. Look at Sunian An. He dumped her 3 years ago. Now that he feels like it, he still teases her like a dog. Hearing the blunt words from Song Jin-nian's friends, the girls' anger flared up. They couldn't swallow their anger. They pushed through the crowd and rushed in. One person turned off the music. One turned on the lights. The rest jumped straight onto the stage, surrounding the two who were kissing passionately. This sudden incident shattered the lively atmosphere. Song Jin-nian came back to his senses. He looked at the people who had stormed in out of nowhere. His face became extremely ugly. Looking around and not seeing Sunian An, he breathed a sigh of relief. He looked coldly at the hostile crowd. How did you know about this place? I didn't invite you. You came here. What are you angry about? Hearing this, they immediately started arguing with him. It's just a bar. If you can come, why can't we? Do we need your invitation? What? Bringing your new girlfriend here for a honeymoon? Afraid? Wed? See and tattle? Are you? Song Jin-nian didn't want to lose face. In front of his friends and girlfriend, he retorted impulsively. What's there to be afraid of? I am just dating. Afraid Sunian will find out? She already has a husband. Is she going to interfere with her ex-boyfriend's love life? As soon as he said this, the girls clapped. Seeing that they weren't angry but smiling instead, Song Jin-nian felt a sense of unease. He realized something was wrong. He was about to ask for clarification when the girl spoke first, playing the part of the faithful man still hung up on his old flame for so long. Now the foxtail is showing. Stop acting, Song Jin-nian. You've been dating another girl for half a year. Why eat from the bowl while eyeing the pot, and still go and bother our Anne? Hearing this, Song Jin-nian's girlfriend also realized something was amiss. Her face darkened. Song Jin-nian didn't expect this to happen today. He knew the problem was about to get big. Recklessly, he spoke without thinking anymore. Wasn't she the one who actively clung to me, begging me to get back together? I am so annoyed by her. How could I possibly be bothering her? She's like a mangy dog clinging to me. I can't even shake her off. I was sick of her early this year. That's why I intentionally ran away from the wedding. It had nothing to do with going abroad. Right now, I only like my girlfriend. These are all my true feelings. Is that so? Facing everyone's harsh question, Song Jin-nian didn't want to show weakness. He held his head high, like a proud lion. Of course, even if Sunian An were here, I would still tell the truth without changing a single word. With this assurance, no one opened their mouths again. The girls all took a few steps back in unison, making way for a path. Seeing their synchronized movement, Song Jin-nian's right eyelid twitched violently. He tilted his head and saw the familiar figure standing at the door. His uneasy heart instantly turned cold. The crowd of onlookers below also followed his gaze and turned around. Today, after the new year, Sunian An once again became the center of attention. But her expression was surprisingly blank. The feelings of anger, disappointment, heartache, and embarrassment that everyone imagined were not revealed at all. There was only the clarity that comes after experiencing everything, and the calmness when the curtain falls on a play. Across the vast sea of people, Nian and looked at the pale-faced person on stage, the man she had loved for many years but could never have, the groom who had abandoned her alone at the wedding. At this moment, he suddenly became incredibly distant. It was as if she was meeting him for the first time, but she had clearly known him for 18 years. I heard every single word. Thank you for not continuing to deceive me, for finally telling me one honest sentence. Amidst countless whispers about Song Jin-nian, Sunian An's voice was calm and gentle, not like she was confronting him, but as if she were talking about today's weather. Her friends on stage looked at Sunian An's demeanor, and suddenly recalled 3 years ago, and the scene when I first appeared before them. Now, it was the same expression, the same tone of voice, the same speaking pace. I am currently single. If you have no objections, I can be your groom. Sunian An calmly said this to the entire hall. After that, Sunian An lowered her eyes. A faint smile appeared on her lips. She was also thinking of me. Until this moment, she finally understood how much pressure I was under that day when I stood beside her, such a cautious, timid, and quiet person, to do so much for her. And it took her 3 years to clearly see my immense and passionate love. Fortunately, it wasn't too late. Sunian An no longer wasted time on unworthy matters. Sunian An turned around and left decisively. Every step was extremely firm. When she got back to her car, Sunian An turned on her phone and sent the unsent message out. A ding sound She thought I had replied immediately. She looked down, against the blue and white background. The red exclamation mark was particularly striking. She looked at the friend request suggestion below and blinked quickly a few times. The display name in the middle of the screen and the profile picture on the left both confirmed it was correct. It was me. But why would I block her for no reason and delete her? Sunian couldn't understand. Sunian Ann sent a few more messages, but she was still blocked. The surface of her heart, once as still as dead water, was now rippling with countless waves. Reason told her that something might have happened, but emotion tried to suppress reason, trying to find another reason to calm herself. This morning, I still saw her off at the door as usual. My expression looked very normal. I even waved goodbye. Maybe I just pressed it by mistake. Sunian Ann tried to comfort herself, but the speed of the car, with one foot pressed all the way on the accelerator, revealed Sunian Ann's panicked heart. Sunian and ran 10 red lights in a row, just to get home before dark. The house was no different from when she left. Still cold. A coldness, unlike the home it used to be. She saw the kitchen light was on, and thought I was making hangover soup. She immediately ran straight in. There was indeed soup cooking on the stove, but it was the housemaid watching the stove. Seeing Sunian Ann, she hurriedly bowed, and flusteredly poured a bowl of soup for her. Sunian Ann hadn't been drinking, but she still took a sip. The hot soup entered her mouth, but it wasn't the taste she was used to. Sunian Ann frowned. Isn't the hangover soup supposed to be cooked by the entrant? Master? The young housemaid's clear eyes suddenly widened. She apologized in a fluster. Yes, I am sorry. Before the young master moved out, he taught me how to make the soup, but I didn't remember it well. Please wait a moment, mistress. I'll make a new one right away. In that speech, Sunian Ann only heard 4 words before he moved out. Her frantically beating heart plunged straight into a cold abyss. When did he move out? This morning, after you left, mistress. The living room, bedroom, study, bathroom, every corner of the house. Sunian Ann searched them all. Still, she found no trace of me. The old butler heard the noise and came over. Seeing Sunian Ann's frantic and distraught appearance, he could finally ask the question that had been weighing on his mind. Miss, why did you agree to divorce the young master? Divorce. Hearing those 2 words, Sunian Ann felt the world spinning. She had never heard me mention this. Why did everyone think she wanted a divorce? In her memory, Sunian Ann tried to recall recent events, trying to find some clues. Jiang Mo's strange behavior at the coffee shop, the plane ticket she hadn't looked at closely, the ambiguous words I said this morning. What you want? I gave it to you a long time ago, recalling the sentence she hadn't had a chance to ask about. Sunian Ann became even more panicked. She had just told her secretary to find my whereabouts, while also driving to look for me herself. She first went to the old house where I lived before our marriage, but only found the doors shut tight. The neighbors told her that I had come back once yesterday and threw away many things, as if I were about to go far away. Just then, a message from her secretary arrived. CEO Su, I've checked. Half a month ago, the young master bought a plane ticket to San Francisco, departing this morning. He has probably arrived by now. So I didn't just want to move out, but decided to go abroad. Realizing this point, a cold feeling rose in Sunian Ann's heart. She couldn't understand why I suddenly had the idea to divorce, and left without any warning signs, becoming her husband, standing by her side. Wasn't that what I always longed for? After telling her secretary to book a flight to the US, Sunian Ann returned to her car. Sunian Ann didn't drive. She leaned against the seat, staring at the blocked chat interface. Lost in thought, her phone, uncharged all day, warned of a low battery. She opened the drawer, intending to get the charging cable. Her gaze swept past that document folder. This time, she finally opened the folder that had been sitting there for a month, and immediately saw the 4 words, divorce agreement. Sunian Ann's hand couldn't help but tremble a little, but she still remained calm, and turned the pages one by one, until the last page. She saw her own signature on it. Sunian Ann was stunned. Her signature. How could it appear on a divorce agreement? Why did she have no memory of signing it at all? Sunian Ann's mind raced at high speed, trying to connect the details she had overlooked and forgotten. The person in this agreement was me, and the only time I asked for her signature was on an afternoon a month ago. At that time, I said I wanted to give her a gift. She didn't have time to look. She signed it and left immediately. I left this agreement in her car and reminded her many times, telling her to check it. For a whole month, the agreement had taken effect, but she had never opened it. The dozen light pages of paper felt as heavy as 1,000 pounds in Sunian Ann's hands. Until this moment, Sunian Ann finally understood why I left. I had realized her wavering and unstable mood in the marriage. I thought she would go back to Song Jin, that she would divorce me, so I chose to leave first. And the gift that was given was this divorce agreement. I decided to give her freedom, decided to fulfill her infatuated heart that hadn't let go for many years. The plane landed in San Francisco. The local time was exactly in the afternoon. I met my long-unseen professor at the arrival's gate, Xu Nan Chao. When I was a senior in university, she left Peking University and started her own entrepreneurial path. After 3 years of effort, she successfully established herself in Silicon Valley. I officially received a job offer from her, which is why I decided to go abroad. This outstanding woman, just over 30, was close to her students at school. Now in the professional world, she was even less formal. As soon as she saw me, she waved friendly. Chen Zhou, long time no see. I pushed my suitcase over, smiling as well. Professor XU, long time no see. I've already resigned. Why still call me professor? If you don't mind, you can just call me Sister Nan Chao from now on. This gentle and refreshing personality made me, who was still not used to the foreign atmosphere, feel much warmer. I didn't stand on ceremony either, and frankly called her sister. XU Nan Chao smiled in response, and took me to her car to go home. On the way home, the two of them chatted about many old stories, from interesting classroom events to the farewell party. For a while, they were both very emotional. Chen Zhou, half a year ago when you graduated with your master's, I invited you to the US. You didn't agree at that time. Why the sudden change of heart now? My gaze paused for a moment, then quickly returned to normal. I thought for a few seconds, considering how to start. At that time, I hadn't figured out what I wanted to do in the future, and for family reasons, I wasn't too keen on going abroad. That's why I didn't agree, but now I've thought it through. Since I don't know what the road ahead looks like, I'll just charge ahead and see first. Maybe by walking around, I'll find a new ideal. XU Nan Xiao had also experienced it. She knew that young people just starting out are always confused at the beginning, so she understood my mood at this moment very well. She comforted me with a few words. That's life. You take it one step at a time. Look at me. Didn't I also work as a university professor for a few years, only to discover I wasn't suited for life in an ivory tower? That's when I decided to go out and broaden my horizons. How old are you? It's normal to be confused, but as long as you bravely take this step, I believe you will definitely find your life's purpose. With a living example of Zhu Nan Chao before me, I felt like I had taken a reassurance pill. I felt much more at ease. After parking the car, Xu Nan Chao led me to the apartment. A standard 2-bedroom, 1 living room layout, north-south facing, plenty of sunlight. There was a supermarket downstairs. Looking at the clean and tidy rooms, I felt half of my fatigue disappear. Su Nan Chao showed me around, then explained the important points in detail. After that, she took me out for a meal. After eating, the two of them went to the supermarket and bought some necessary items. After taking me home, Xu Nan Chao didn't bother me anymore. She left her address and then departed. I took a shower and lay on the bed, watching the sky darken outside the window. I suddenly had a feeling of unreality. Yesterday, at this time, I was still in the Beijing villa, wearing loungewear, watching the heavy snow outside the window. Today, I've flown to another city across the ocean, starting a single life. The room was very quiet. I thought about it in a daze, and quickly fell asleep. I had a dream. In the dream, I was at Sunian An's wedding, and this time, Song Jin Yan didn't flee the wedding. At her wedding, I witnessed them exchange rings, and vow to be together for life. I left during the kiss, amidst the blessings of the crowd. I returned to the quiet campus, and buried myself in my studies for 3 years. After graduating, I flew to the US and started a new life, never to return. And in this short life, the only intersection between me and Sunian, and was just 4 years as classmates. From then on, we went our separate ways. I went my way, she went hers. I would forever be just a strange male classmate whose name she couldn't remember. Perhaps the scene in the dream was too real. When I woke up the next day, I was still a bit dazed, unable to clearly distinguish between reality and the dream. I sat alone on the sofa for a long time, until noon. A call from Su Nan Chao finally woke me up completely. Chen Zhou, are you up? I am downstairs at your place. Let's have lunch together. I found Su Nan Xiao's car in the parking lot. I opened the passenger side door. As I bent down, I glimpsed someone sitting in the back seat. Out of politeness, I didn't look closely, thinking I'd wait for Su Nan Chao to introduce us after I sat down. After fastening my seatbelt, the person next to me didn't speak, but a familiar voice came from behind. Did you rest well? Hearing this familiar voice, I quickly looked up. Through the rearview mirror, I saw a familiar face. It was Sunian An. It had only been a day, but she looked very tired, as if she hadn't rested for a long time. But her eyes, looking at me, were still clear and determined. For a moment, many words rose in my throat, but I didn't know what to ask. In the end, I said nothing. The atmosphere in the car became silent. A minute later, Yu Nan Chao finally noticed the awkward atmosphere. She quickly turned to look at me, helping to ease the tension. Chen Zhou, this is your classmate Su Nian An. I don't you recognize her? She just landed at the airport and called me, saying she wanted to meet up. I thought you were classmates, so I arranged for us to eat together. You don't mind, do you? I did mind, but in front of Xu Nan Chao, who knew nothing about their situation, I had to stay calm, so I could only pretend that nothing was wrong, and force a smile to reply. Sister Nan Chao, whatever you arrange is fine. I am just not used to the time difference yet. I am a little dizzy. Xu Nan Chao smiled and nodded, signaling for me to calm down. She turned to chat with Su Nian An in the back. Nian An, are you okay? Do you want to go rest first? We can meet later. Su Nian hadn't slept for nearly 30 hours, but she knew now was not the time to rest, so she shook her head lightly. No need, let's eat first. I've already booked the restaurant. You two didn't seem to interact much back in school. I didn't expect you to have such a connection after graduation. To meet by chance in San Francisco. To meet by chance? Although I kept my head down, I could feel the burning gaze from behind me. I knew Suni and An had come, which means she came for me. The one in charge of the SU Corporation, who grew up surrounded by flowers, the applause for a proud daughter of heaven. Yet a nobody, like me, had proposed a divorce. She must be unwilling to accept it, right? I closed my eyes and pressed my temples, trying to get my brain working, to deal with any possible situation. Meanwhile, the conversation between the two women continued. It's not exactly a chance meeting. I came to San Francisco because there's something important I need to resolve. So meeting Chen Zhou is inevitable. Hearing her tone, it seemed she was very familiar with me. But looking at my expression, it was as if we didn't know each other. This complicated relationship left ex-Yunnan Chao a little confused. So you came looking for Chen Zhou. You two have been in frequent contact since graduation. The relationship isn't just normal. I quickly answered before she could speak. Hearing those two words, Suni and Anne's gaze deepened. Her lips tightened slightly. After all, we were classmates for 4 years. Our relationship is normal right now. If we interact more in the future, well, gradually become closer. Oh, right? Nian Anne, are you in the US for work this time? Are you alone, without your family? I heard you're married. Isn't your husband also a classmate? Hearing this question, my heart beat a few times faster. I couldn't help but clench my fists. After a long moment, I finally heard Suni and Anne's slightly hoarse voice. Yes, but not long ago. He asked me for a divorce. I came to the US this time to resolve this matter. Ex-Yu Nanchao, who hadn't expected her casual gossip to touch on someone's private affairs, was immediately a little embarrassed. I didn't want to continue this topic, so I directly changed the subject. Sister Nanchao, did we book a Western or Chinese restaurant today? How much longer? I woke up today and haven't eaten anything. I am a little hungry. Ex-Yunnan Chao looked at me gratefully and quickly picked up the thread. The Western restaurant is a few hundred meters away. We're almost there. Almost there. This meal lasted an hour. During that time, it was still. Ex-Yunnan Xiao acting as the mediator, chatting with both sides, seeing me eating with my head down. Suni and Anne could only swallow the question she had long suppressed. Halfway through the meal, something suddenly came up at the company. Ex-Yunnan Xiao had to hurry off to deal with it. She left first. The meal between professor and student turned into a face-off between a divorcing couple. The atmosphere instantly froze. I finished the last piece of steak. Sunian and timely passed a napkin to my hand. I didn't take it. Instead, I stood up and took a new one. My tone was light, but direct. If you have something to say it clearly. Suni and Anne's outstretched hand paused, meeting my gaze. Although it had only been a day since we last met, the person before her now was vastly different from the gentle and courteous husband in her memory. The difference was huge. She didn't know if I had changed, or if she had never seen the real me. Thinking back carefully, in 3 years of marriage, besides the intimate moments in bed, Suni and Anne had rarely looked me in the face and rarely paid attention to my emotional changes. I was like a lake, no wind, no waves, no ripples, quietly existing in a place she could see just by turning her head. Over time, she gradually forgot where this lake came from and why it remained there. Never moving forward when she had grown accustomed to it, this lake suddenly started to flow, flowing unstoppably away from her, to a strange and unreachable place. She hurriedly gave chase, only to be surprised to discover that this lake was not as calm as she had imagined, and it wouldn't, for Sunian alone remained forever in place, and all her previous perceptions were just Suni and Anne's own self-righteous prejudices, facing this new me she had never met before. Suni and Anne is not at fault, but she knows. The reason I chose to divorce is definitely not separate from her. So right from the start of the conversation, Suni An sincerely apologized to me. Chen Zhou, I am sorry. For the past 3 years, I failed to fulfill my responsibilities as a wife. I couldn't give you a normal family atmosphere. I overlooked your efforts. I am sorry. I know that Suni and Anne's words right now are all sincere, but I am not moved by this belated apology. I understand that between me and Suni and it was a mistake from the beginning. There was definitely not going to be a good outcome, forcing someone who doesn't love you at all to start a family with you and live faithfully for a lifetime was already an unimaginable thing. Not to mention, this person never let go of someone else from start to finish. The reason I asked for a divorce is just that I realized 3 years ago how naive my own thoughts were. I just want to correct the wrong path I took. It's not about responsibility, it's not about the atmosphere, and it's definitely not about contributions. So I only replied to her with one sentence. I don't need your apology. I just need you to submit the divorce agreement and then send the divorce certificate over. Cash on delivery is fine. Suni and Anne was stunned on the spot. On the flight here, she thought there was still a chance for everything. She tossed and turned all night thinking of ways to apologize and hold on. But at this moment, she finally realized how determined I was. Staring at my calm face, a hint of panic flashed. In Suni and Anne's eyes, her tone also became much more rushed. Do we really have to get a divorce? Why? I looked at her intently, word by word, clear and decisive. I married you because I liked you. I want a divorce because I don't like you anymore. That's all. After leaving the restaurant, I didn't go home. Instead, I went to find Xu Nanqiao. Seeing me arrive alone, Xu Nanqiao was slightly surprised. Where's Nian on A? After you left. She had something to do and left too. I thought I would start work in a few days, so I came to check out the situation first. Sunan Xiao didn't think much of it either. Coincidentally, the work she was doing was also finished, so she enthusiastically gave me a tour of the company until the end of the workday. The two of us arranged to have dinner again. I just got back to the apartment. I opened my phone and saw a friend request confirmation. It was from Sunian A. I remembered the words she said before we parted. Since you're determined to divorce, I will respect your wishes. I am not worthy of your feelings. I've let you down. I am very sorry. But we were husband and wife for 3 years after all. Even though we're breaking up, can we still be friends? Friends? Between me and Sunian A, is it really necessary to continue being friends? I couldn't figure it out in my imagination. They should just go their separate ways cleanly and then have no contact for the rest of their lives. So I didn't agree to this request right away. At 10 o'clock, I was about to go to sleep when I discovered Sunian An had sent another request, this time with a note. There are a few clauses in the divorce agreement. I want to discuss them with you. It's about the divorce. I accepted immediately. Sunian An didn't say anything unnecessary either. She directly sent the proposed amendments marked in red. I looked closely and discovered she had amended the original asset division section to an equal split, which also means, after I receive the divorce certificate, I will get half of the SU. Nyan An's assets, a windfall from heaven, but I was a little worried. So I sent a voice message. This asset division part. The original contract is fine. You don't need to follow the marriage law and give me so many assets. Otherwise, I'll feel guilty. Sunyan seemed to have predicted I would say that. She replied to the message very quickly. I know you didn't agree to marry me for money. The reason I amended the contract is not to compensate you, but because it's the law. This is all what you deserve. I don't overthink it. I explained a few more times, but Sunyan always responded with this reasoning. I was tired too. I didn't want to persuade her anymore, so I just let her be. Time passed day by day. I officially started work, gradually adapting to office life. A month later, I received the divorce certificate, along with countless real estate shares and other assets. Looking at the countless zeros in my account, I didn't know how to handle it, so I just put it away, as if it had never happened, and continued to live my life. The cold winter passed. Spring came. I went to work as usual. As soon as I arrived at the company, I was called into the office for a meeting by Sunan Chao. The content of this meeting revolved around a collaborative project with a few domestic cake companies. The meeting required choosing an assistant to accompany ex-Yunan Chao back to the country to discuss the collaboration. Her gaze swept over everyone, finally stopping on me. Chen Zhou, you'll go with me. Being called out unexpectedly, I was very surprised. I had only been working for 1 quarter. In theory, I couldn't take on such an important task, but Yunan Chao had chosen me. I had to agree. After the meeting, the two of us stayed behind with a mutual understanding. Ex-Yunan Chao didn't beat around the bush. She said directly, Chen Zhou, for this trip back home. Although we have to discuss the details with 4 enterprises simultaneously, our main focus is on the collaboration with the SU group. Hearing that word, I vaguely guessed something. I looked at ex-Yunan Chao. My eyes were full of hesitation. Sunian An ex-Yunan Chao nodded. After a moment's hesitation, she still decided to speak frankly. After our small meeting last time, Nianan asked to meet me privately again. This project was agreed upon at that time. The matter between you and her. Actually, she told me a little about it. I feel this is your private matter, so I haven't mentioned it. But this project has now reached its most crucial stage. To ensure there are no mistakes, I want to ask for your help to accompany me back to the country to participate in this project discussion. Although it's a bit sudden, I hope you understand. Actually, I didn't quite understand ex-Yunan Kiao's meaning. I just joined the company not long ago, and I don't have any connections. Such an important project. What's the use of bringing me along? Is it just because I am Sunian An's ex-husband? I could only think of this possibility, but Sunian An doesn't like me. The divorce was clean and final. After that, she didn't contact me either. Sunan Chao, why would she think she would compromise for my sake? To avoid unnecessary misunderstandings, I frankly told the truth. Sister Nan Chao, before, because I was already divorced. I felt these things weren't important, so I didn't tell you. But this project is of great importance. There are a few things I must say directly. Actually, Sunian An and I were just briefly fated. She doesn't like me. We also didn't have any marital affection. The breakup was also clean. As far as I know, although she values personal relationships very much, when it comes to major rights and wrongs, she will still stick to her principles. If you think bringing me to discuss the collaboration will increase the success rate, then I might have to pour cold water on your idea from the mouth of the other person involved. Hearing the description of the state of this marriage, ex-Yunan Chao felt it was very strange. Ex-Yunan Chao invited me to sit down. She couldn't help but ask a question. Are you sure Sunian An has no feelings for you? I quickly nodded, seeing my affirmative expression. Ex-Yunan Chao couldn't help but recall the words Sunian, and said, before leaving San Francisco, Miss Xu, actually Chen Zhou and I are husband and wife. More accurately, we're in a state of separation. I didn't do well in this marriage. He's disappointed in me, so he asked for a divorce. Chen Zhou's attitude is very firm. I don't want to put him in a difficult position, so I agreed. But personally, I want to save this relationship. It's just that right now, I still need some time to think calmly. Chen Zhou definitely doesn't want to go back with me. Could I trouble you to help me take care of him for a while? To show my gratitude, I am willing to discuss with you the Row Project collaboration, although it has been a long time. But Sunyan An's dejected and disappointed appearance, and extremely sincere tone, Xu Chao still remembered clearly. She couldn't believe someone like Sunyan An would, for an ex-husband she had no feelings for, hand over a project coveted by countless enterprises to her on a silver platter. But since Sunyan An had said that problems existed between her and me, she didn't want to speculate much either. She just asked for my opinion one last time. For the project, it'll be there. You don't need to worry too much. The reason I want to bring you along, one is for my own selfish reasons. Two is to train you. Just treat this as a normal business trip. Just handle it according to standard procedures, okay? Having been in contact for so long, I knew Xunan Chao was a straightforward person. She wouldn't secretly make things difficult. Moreover, this business trip was indeed a rare opportunity. I didn't want to miss it. So after half a day of consideration, I still agreed. The return date was set for a week later. I was busy with work, and also packing my luggage. As the return day approached, my mood became even calmer. Recalling old matters, it just felt like a dream. Now the dream is over. I am also completely awake, no longer attached to the past. As for Sunyan A, it's just returning to the starting point, becoming just an old classmate. I had already thought about how to treat her when we met again. Returning to this familiar city once again, my mindset had completely changed. I pushed my luggage, chatting and laughing with Xu Nanqiao as we walked out of the airport. While we were talking, Xu Nanqiao saw her parents. Waving from a distance, she introduced me to her parents and warmly invited me to her home. I knew the family of three had endless things to talk about upon reuniting. I didn't want to disturb their reunion, so I politely declined. After saying our temporary goodbyes, I pushed my luggage out of the airport alone, only to find it was raining heavily outside. There were no cars on the road. I opened a ride-hailing app. Just as I was about to book a ride, a black car suddenly stopped in front of me. I instinctively looked up and saw Sunyan An walking over with an umbrella. We haven't seen each other in a few months. You've lost a lot of weight. Wearing a beige trench coat, her figure was tall and slender. I didn't expect her to appear. I was a little stunned for a moment. Sunyan An walked straight up to me. Her eyes held a complex emotion I couldn't read. She said softly, "Long time no see. Chen Zhou, have you been well lately?" I instinctively took a few steps back, keeping my distance from her. My voice was flat. "I am okay." This cold attitude made Sunyan An a bit disappointed, but she understood. It was all reasonable, because they were just a divorced couple. So Sunyan An quickly adjusted her mood, looking at the suitcase in my hand. "It's raining too hard. Let me take you to the hotel." Looking at the ride accepted notification on my screen, I shook my head to decline her good intentions. "No need. I've already booked a car. Then take this umbrella. Otherwise, your luggage will get soaked." I didn't understand why she was suddenly so attentive. A strange feeling rose in my heart. I don't need her help, nor do I feel we need any contact. What do you think, CEO Su? This sentence was like a needle, piercing straight into Sunyan An's heart. Her hand hidden in her sleeve trembled slightly. Her smile was a bit forced. "We're divorced, so we can't even be friends?" I put my phone in my pocket and took an umbrella out of my bag, watching the approaching car. Before the divorce, we were just ordinary classmates. After the divorce, we can just go back to that. You and I were never people from the same world. There's no need to be friends. Every word and every sentence carried no emotion. This time it was Sunyan An's turn to be stunned. She watched the driver help move my luggage into the trunk, watched me open the car door, watched me put away my umbrella, and only felt that something was slowly slipping away from her. She couldn't help but step forward and held onto the car door that was about to close. Amidst the rushing sound of the rain, her voice was particularly strong and clear. "I don't feel like we're not from the same world. Chen Zhou, perhaps. I've heard countless people gossip about your background and talk endlessly about why I chose to marry you, but I want to tell you, I've never looked down on you, nor have I ever had any thoughts that you weren't worthy of standing by my side. You simply accepted what you had and bravely pursued what you liked. That's all. You don't need to feel inferior, having lived alone for nearly 10 years. This was the first time I heard someone say that. I tilted my head and looked at her. The corners of my lips turned up slightly. I rarely smiled and said to her, "Thank you." The rain also stopped. I grabbed my bag and hurried to the restaurant to meet Jiang Mo. The two brothers hugged tightly. We sat down and chatted about recent events. When Jiang Mo heard that I got half of Sunyan An's assets, his mouth opened wide enough to swallow a plate. He hurriedly slapped my shoulder, ignoring the strange looks from everyone. He kept cheering. My brother is a tycoon now. Oh my god, I'll cling to your leg. Does this mean I don't have to worry for the rest of my life?" I quickly covered his mouth, apologized to the disturbed customers, and then immediately took him to a private room. When no one was around, Jiang Mo whispered furtively, "Is the money in your account yet?" "It's in, but I don't dare to spend it. I feel like this windfall will be taken back." Jiang Mo didn't like hearing these words. He held my hand and earnestly advised me, "What windfall? This is your legal income. Since Sunyan An was so generous, you should just take it and use it. What's there to be shy about? It's not like you held a knife to her throat and forced her to marry you." That made a lot of sense. Jiang Mo saw me gradually letting go of my worries. He chuckled and picked up the menu. Without looking, he slapped it directly into the waiter's hand. All the most expensive things here. Things like lobster, give me one of each. After showing off, he proudly boasted with satisfaction. How was my performance just now? Was it authentic? I gave him 2 thumbs up, intentionally wanting to tease him. Pretty good. I just don't know if Chairman Jiang will still have this momentum when the bill comes later. Chen Zhou, aren't you treating me? Or are we going Dutch? After a full meal, Jiang Mo was satisfied. I looked at his satisfied expression and pressed the bell to call the waiter. I was about to pay. Suddenly, an unpleasant voice sounded from behind us. Oh, isn't this Chen Zhou? The 2 brothers heard the voice and looked up. Just then, coming down from the upper floor was a group of people, mostly classmates from University A, surrounding Song Ji Nian. They walked towards them. Seeing them, Jiang Mo leaned into my ear and whispered some gossip. Chen Zhou, the day after you went abroad, the story about Song Jin Nian cheating with multiple people blew up because it involved so many people. It even became a hot search topic. I heard it was spread by Sunian An's friends. Since then, his reputation has been terrible. He saw he couldn't hide it. So he went running to Sunian An, begging to get back together. But she completely ignored him. You didn't see the scene where he was rejected in front of everyone. His face was a mixture of green and white. It was hilarious. Song Jin Nian walked to our table. He vaguely heard them talking about him. His expression immediately darkened. He glared at me fiercely. Didn't you go abroad? What are you doing back here? None of your business, is it? What are you so smug about? I don't think that just because you're back, you have a chance to get back with Sunian An. She never cared about you before, and she cares even less now. I don't know why he holds such great hostility towards me. I've already divorced Sunian An, but I didn't want to argue with a group of people. I paid and was about to leave with Jiang Mo. This dismissive attitude made Song Jin Nian even angrier. He directly blocked our way by crashing my wedding and taking half of Sunian An's assets. You're just a scheming social climber. What are you pretending for in front of me? Even if you get that money, what's the use? Look at the stench of poverty all over you. I don't let me smell it. The followers who came with him heard this, and they all laughed along. Jiang Mo got angry and was about to step forward to argue with them. I quickly pulled him back. I looked coldly at Song Jin Nian. My voice was light. Sunian gave me that money voluntarily, just like the rumors you spread. It's perfectly legitimate and well-deserved. After speaking, I didn't care about Song Jin Nian's expression and pulled Jiang Mo away. His sore spot having been hit, Song Jin Nian flew into a rage out of shame. He forcefully pushed a waiter who was walking by. A pot of hot oil soup was knocked over. Seeing that it was about to splash onto me and Jiang Mo, Sunian appeared. She used her hand to block the soup bowl. The sizzling hot soup soaked her entire left hand. The exposed skin was burned, with countless blisters forming. Her face immediately turned pale. Song Jin Nian never expected Sunian An to appear here. He also panicked for a moment and hurried forward, wanting to check the wound. Sunian tried to endure the burning pain and glared at him through gritted teeth. Her gaze was colder than ice and snow. Out of respect for Uncle and Auntie Song, I never held the things you did against you, but if you don't learn your lesson, I don't mind teaching you one you'll never forget. Song Jin Nian still wanted to explain. Sunian gave him no chance at all. She led the 2 frightened people away. The cold night wind blew. I also sobered up a lot. I looked at the wound on her hand. I took the car keys directly from her bag. We rushed to the hospital. The nurse saw the large wound and was startled. She quickly called for a doctor. It was already dark. Jiang Mo had to work tomorrow. It took me a long time to persuade him to go home. Only 4 people were left in the emergency room. I turned to look at Sunian An, who was trying to endure the pain. I took out 2 tissues and wiped the beads of sweat rolling down her forehead. I said nothing. I went to get the medicine, according to the doctor's prescription. When I returned, the wound had been treated. The doctor gave many more instructions before letting them go. I drove Sunian An home, returning to this villa. Seeing the living room layout was almost unchanged from before, and my eyes appeared a hint of daze. The old butler saw me return. He was immediately overjoyed. He greeted me, rambling on and on. Young master, you're finally back. During the time you were away, the young mistress was always waiting for you. Halfway through his sentence, the butler saw Sunian An's injury. He froze on the spot. Young master, how did the young mistress get hurt? I pretended not to hear the butler's words. I handed over the medicine in my hand. I repeated the doctor's instructions and turned to leave. Watching my retreating back, Sunian felt a sense of emptiness. She really wanted to call for me to stay, but the words stopped at her lips. Sunian An's disappointed look, as if wanting to speak but holding back, caught the butler's eye. He was just short of being anxious. He didn't care about anything else. He hurriedly chased after me to call me back and said everything he hadn't had the chance to say. Young master, since you're back, don't leave again. During these 3 months, besides work, the young mistress only stayed in her room, staring blankly at the flowers you planted before. She would mumble in her sleep at night, wanting you to come back. Every week, she flew to America to see you. She was afraid of bothering you, so she never dared to contact you. The things the butler said, I didn't know about any of them. I thought she had completely let go and started a new life. Hearing these words, my first reaction was to find it absurd. Doesn't Sunian only like Song Jin Nian? How could she, for an ex-husband like me, do so many incomprehensible things, so I paid no mind to these words. I spoke very seriously to Butler Zhao. Suni and Anne and I are divorced. I have also let go of the past. Whatever happens in the SU family has nothing to do with me. Please don't call me young master anymore. From now on, just call me Chinzhou when we meet. It's getting late. I'll be leaving first. Please take care of yourself. After 2 short days of rest, I entered work mode. I went with ex-Yunan Chao to discuss the details of our collaboration. I learned a lot of experience, and the project's progress was unusually smooth. Everything flowed as naturally as water forming a river. We didn't encounter any obstacles. When discussing with the SU group, Suni and Anne did not attend directly. She only sent the vice president. I breathed a sigh of relief. I presented the pre-prepared contract. After reviewing the terms, the other party showed a positive intention to cooperate, but they proposed one condition for the contract term. The coordinator responsible for communication between the two parties, the SU group, appointed me. Ex-Yunan Chao immediately guessed that this was definitely Suni and Anne's idea. She wanted to use this collaboration to keep me here. After some thought, ex-Yunan Chao still decided to ask for my opinion. So, after leaving the SU group, the two of us found a coffee shop to talk. Chenzhou, although this is a bit sudden, if it's convenient, could you tell me the whole story of your marriage with Suni and Anne? I was silent for a moment. Finally, I still gathered my thoughts and told the entire story from beginning to end. 4 years as classmates, 3 years as husband and wife. Together, it's almost a third of my life. But when I actually told it to an outsider, it felt so light, leaving no trace, as if I were telling someone else's story. The strong feelings that once supported me, getting me through countless dark nights, were finally worn away by time. After listening, Su Nanqiao couldn't snap out of it for a long time. She didn't know what to say. Any words at this moment seemed meaningless. Only the continuous silence echoed in the room. Seeing her pained and regretful expression, I chuckled softly. My voice carried the clarity of someone who has been through it all. Sister Nanqiao, I know you have concerns. You want to secure this project, but you don't want me to get hurt. And the reason I told you, in these old stories that should have been kept hidden, is to let you know that I have truly let go completely. Regardless of why they made this request, in my eyes, I only see it as a job to be completed seriously. Although I don't have any experience, as long as you need me, and the team needs me, I will do my best to complete it. I won't disappoint everyone's expectations. Hearing my firm promise, Su Nanqiao's eyes filled with tears. This project was a matter of success or failure for her, so she spared no effort to push this collaboration forward. And the most crucial part was me. Although the word used doesn't sound nice, her only way right now is to use Suni and Anne's feelings for me. Only then can she achieve her goal. Fortunately, I understood her difficulties and was willing to help her with this. 1,000 words couldn't express her gratitude. It finally turned into the clinking of glasses. At the end of the month, Xu Nanqiao took the 4 signed contracts and prepared to fly back to San Francisco. I went to the airport to see her off. The two of us hugged for a long time. Seeing a figure appear in the distance, Xu Nanqiao finally couldn't help but ask, Chenzhou, she is, after all, the person you liked for 7 years. Now that she's also realized her feelings, are you really not going to give her another chance? I knew Xu Nanqiao meant well. She wished for my happiness, but only I understood how difficult those 7 years were before I could completely move on. If it were just a case of unrequited love, it actually wouldn't have been that painful. It would just be a regret. But when I held the unreachable moon in my hands, thinking I had caught up to the light, I finally discovered it was just an illusion, like scooping the moon from the water. After that, one would no longer look up to the sky. Some things are only suitable for admiration. So I only replied with one sentence. Sister, Nanqiao, life can't be turned back. We have to look forward. For the convenience of work, I rented a top-floor apartment. The next day, someone also moved in across from me. It was Sunian, and in this Beijing. For a month, I often bumped into her in many places. By the supermarket shelf, at the hot pot restaurant's door, in a corner of the park. With Suni and Anne's status, it wasn't appropriate for her to appear in these places. I knew she was always following me. Sometimes, when we met face-to-face, she would make small talk like a normal friend. Other times, Sunyan, Anne would quietly follow behind, like a shadow, slowly immersing herself in her own little world. I also gradually got used to it. After becoming neighbors, the chances of us meeting gradually increased. The smile on Suni and Anne's face also grew brighter and brighter. Occasionally, she would take the initiative to invite me, asking if I wanted to go for a walk together, eat dinner together, or travel together. I always found a reason to refuse. Every time she heard the words sorry, the light in her eyes would dim quite a bit. Countless times I thought, after this rejection, there wouldn't be a next time. But when we met again the next day, she would have recovered and greet me cheerfully. Looking at Suni and Anne's attentiveness, I was inexplicably reminded of our university days. The days she was by Song Jinian's side. It was just like now. Afraid the other person would angrily refuse, she catered to them to the point of losing herself. But I am not Song Jinian. I can't comfortably enjoy this kindness, nor will I tease or intentionally show off some strange preference for my own charm. I just want to live each day well, to enjoy life. That's all. Time passed, day by day. From spring to summer, and then from late autumn to early winter. This project, which lasted nearly a year, also reached its final stage. The contract deadline was exactly my 25th birthday. I booked a flight back to San Francisco for that day. The day before I left, I packed my luggage until dawn. I was surprised to see light snow falling outside the window. When the clock struck 12, there was a knock on the door. I had just opened it when I saw Sunyan An holding a cake. She was clearly smiling, saying happy birthday, but I could see in her a certain sadness. I was stunned for a moment, then quickly returned to normal. I politely thanked her. After the candles were lit, I clasped my hands together and made a wish. When I opened my eyes, I saw Sunyan An. Her eyes held a hidden expectation. What did you wish for? Just like last year. The topic came to an abrupt halt. Sunyan An recalled last year. What happened on my birthday? The smile at the corner of her mouth gradually turned bitter. I lowered my gaze, avoiding her eyes. The atmosphere froze. After a long time, I heard Sunyan An ask a strange question. Chenjo, last year on the day you left, what did you say when you saw me off from the house? I didn't hear clearly back then. What was it? Actually, I couldn't remember either. Those memories, carrying a damp chill, made it hard for me to look back. In reality, they have all been erased by time. I only remember the bright years. To the scenes that make me feel warm when I think of the PD, they are still clear. And as a new year of my life begins, I hope everyone I meet from now on, and everything that is about to happen will be perfect. So I casually made up a few lines as a memento, wishing her happiness, and also wishing myself happiness. When I woke up, outside the window had become a sea of white snow. The snow was still falling. As soon as I went downstairs, I saw Sunyan An waiting by the road. She actively walked over. Her tone carried a complex, indescribable meaning. The snow is heavy. You can't get a cab. Let me drive you to the airport. This time, I didn't refuse. I realized she must have something else she wanted to say. This departure truly has no return date. There were a few things I also wanted to bring to a close. The car started and drove very slowly. I don't know if it was because the road was slippery, or if Sunyan An was doing it on purpose. But luckily, there was still plenty of time, so I said nothing. I quietly watched the scenery outside the window. Time passed by, second by second, minute by minute. Sunyan An finally couldn't bear it before our parting. The silent atmosphere. She wanted to say something, to suppress her chaotic heart, and also wanted to use this opportunity to move me, to make me stay by her side. Chenjo, do you remember Christmas in our second year of marriage? It was snowing heavily then too. Your mother's health wasn't good. I took you to the temple to pray for blessings. While praying, you drew a fortune slip for relationships. On it was written, I wish for the heart of one person. Hearing her description, I also recalled that old memory. After drawing the fortune, the monk who interpreted it looked at the two of us and said something very strange. Fate is predestined. Tribulation is also predestined. If you can realize it early, it will be the best fortune. I didn't understand what he meant. I thought the monk wanted to enlighten me. After that, for a long time, I was worried about this matter, because after all, at that time, I really wanted to live with her for the rest of my life. But thinking back now, the one who drew the fortune was Sunyan An. Those words were not meant for me, and the person she wanted to grow old with back then was actually not me. Wasn't it? Thinking of this, I smiled faintly. I don't really remember. Sunyan An was stunned for a few seconds. She immediately found a new topic, mostly small things that happened after we got married. There were some things I couldn't remember, but she recounted them in great detail. I didn't know that over the past year, these memories had been recalled by Sunyan An many times. That's why she remembered so clearly. She tried to use these rather warm marital memories to move me, but I remained expressionless, as if I didn't remember the past, and acted as if I knew nothing. The car arrived at the airport. I took my suitcase and was about to leave. Sunyan An called me from behind. She took out a box and handed it to me. Her eyes carried an earnest expectation. As soon as I opened it, I saw a pair of jade pendants. I remember this is the SU family heirloom. Why is she giving this to me? If it's a farewell gift, it's too precious. I don't dare to accept it. Being rejected once again, Sunyan An almost couldn't manage a smile. Sunyan An's throat tightened a few times. A hint of urgency appeared on her face. Please take it. This is from my heart. It's also my mother's wish. I shook my head lightly. My voice was gentle. What this gift represents, I understand, which is why I don't want to accept it. I've said some things to you many times already. If the story has ended, let's both return to our original positions. Every word, every sentence stabbed deep into Sunyan An's heart. She stood in the snow, watching me walk away, step by step, without looking back. Only the scattered snowflakes falling on my head, as if by appointment, sent me a picture of growing old together that she had wished for, but could not have.